Welcome to another episode of the Back Catalogue podcast. This is the podcast where we uncover the truth. And by we, I mean me, Apple, and my co-host / co-founder, Vincent. We dive into the streaming service. We tell you, the listener and the viewer, what is worth it and what is not. But today, let me tell you something, Vincent. I'll look to my left, I'll look to my right. Because we're getting into conspiracy theories today. We're not jumping into any streaming service. We're not jumping into any networks. We're jumping into the higher ups. We're picking their pockets.
We've done, 3 years of the podcast where we dive into streaming services, and it just hasn't worked.
Has not worked.
And you know, when things don't work, you got to pivot. So and now we're conspiracy theorists.
The best way to pivot is to conspiracy. From what I've gathered just from seeing others online, you know, and people that are somewhat successful by maybe 200 more views than us, they'll jump into conspiracy theories because people will read them.
Well, I mean, we don't have to go straight to the top. We need to climb the ladder. Exactly.
And if there's a rung that is an absolute stepping stone to the rest of conspiracy world, it is Bigfoot. And today we're breaking down the 11 crazy Bigfoot conspiracy theories. We're doing it right here. So you, the listener and the viewer, does not have to. Now, as you can hear, my voice is raspy because we've been up all night, breaking down these conspiracy theories.
Well, I don't know about you, but I've been up all night looking for Bigfoot. Because I read these and I said, hey, these actually, that's got some validity to it.
And look, you and I might go out there one day and do a video where we look for Bigfoot.
I mean, we might.
It might be a movie. Now, Vincent, I'm on mental floss, and this is exactly what it is. It's cleaning our mental state. We're getting that floss. We're going through the grooves of the brain. We're doing that mental floss. And I've got 11 crazy Bigfoot conspiracy theories. And let me tell you one thing that I've learned about Bigfoot conspiracy theory websites, and when we've dived into the dark web and the deep web.
You have to have your antivirus on.
You have to have your antivirus on. But you also just have to know that before you get any conspiracy theories, you're going to be getting a bunch of ads. And a bunch of these ads are like lightinthebox.com. I don't know what it is, but it's got half-naked ladies on there.
That's wild.
Yeah, and it looks like the pictures, they're wearing dresses, but it looks like the dresses have just been copied and pasted onto the picture. But I might buy them. Who knows? All right, so we're going to dive into the conspiracy theories here, but we're just going to say the titles, then we're going to break them down.
Yeah.
Because we're not here to learn about what Mark Mancini thought about in March 11, 2013.
I only want to hear what Roberto Mancini was doing in 2013.
I mean, look, if you hurt your toe, you know who to find. You know who to find. Is that the joke?
I'm not following.
All right, so I'm going to go through these conspiracy theories. Now, I want to hit you just with basic ones first, then we're going to get into the craziest stuff.
All right.
So there's a DNA test that has proved that Bigfoot is part human hybrid, and he deserves a US citizenship.
So they've found Bigfoot in this theory.
So this is what Texas veterinarian, I'll say a little bit just for context. Texas veterinarian, Melba S. Ketchum, and that's Ash's mum.
Bro, I mean, if anyone who's found Bigfoot, it's a Ketchum, He
caught them all, she's about to catch them all.
Jeez. I mean, they started off on the right foot here.
Now, I'm talking about claim that last November, so this is back in 2012, to have proved via Sasquatch DNA sample that the legendary apes are partially human.
I mean, that's hilarious because they just got their DNA sample from a hairy man. There's absolutely 100% certainty that is the case.
If you see him, because this is what I want to break down now. Where are you getting this sample from?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Now, I've been out in the woods before. There's not just animal hairs. There is animal hairs. You'll see nests, you'll see bird nests, they got animal hairs in there. You'll see things like that, they got animal hairs around it. You might see a tree, something's brushed up against it, animal hairs. What makes you stop and grab those animal hairs?
Well, when you're fishing for big feet.
If you're fishing for big feet, I get that. But then also your variables. You got to think about the variables there.
Yeah, but the thing is, when you dive into conspiracy theories and things like something like Bigfoot, you're not looking at the variables. It's not the scientific method.
It's not. And this is why we've jumped into it, because we don't need to do the background research. We just need to dive in. And then we're just as high as,
We just got to go into the wilderness and find hairs and just run DNA tests.
I mean, if we got your hairs and my hairs and we ran DNA tests, they'd be like, bro, this thing has come from Italy and it's come from Greece. There must have been big feet in Greece and Italy. And like there could have been.
I mean, there's enough hair in those two places.
There's enough hair and there's enough people that you could just say like, this dude looks quite tall. You know? But this is this, and I'm not making jokes here because we're diving into this. But Melba, I don't know how I feel about this conspiracy theory. I think that there needs to be more valid evidence.
But is there any sources to this? Like Mancini, is he got any sources there?
Mancini, he's just straight up hit me with a small paragraph, but he does say that they not only deserve the U.S. citizenship, but they should be protected. They're human and constitutional rights because they're partially human.
Yeah.
Now, but when we're doing DNA tests, like how close is that DNA test to human DNA?
Well, I mean,
bananas are close.
I was about to say you all know the bananas share like 77% of the same genome as humans and whatnot. So I mean, it could have been like a hairy banana, realistically.
Like she could have just found the peel and been like, "This could be Bigfoot droppings." Because you don't know what it looks like.
We're talking 77%. That's Bigfoot.
Number 2.
So hold on, what are we rating that one?
We're gonna rate it out of like how many toes on a Bigfoot?
I mean, how many toes does a Bigfoot have?
They could have 10.
We'll just do it as 10 because that's a nice round number.
That's a nice round number.
I'm going to give that a 3.
Yeah, I was going to give it a 2 and maybe a half, like got a little nub at the end.
There's no backing at all.
There's not enough there to make it work, but I think this next one has a bit of validity.
I think that one there, Ketchum is just relying on the name. There was the Pokemon hype.
Yeah.
Heads were watching, Cheese TV. Is that what it's called? Toasted TV or whatever?
It started off as Cheese TV, then I believe it became Toasted TV.
Toasted TV. They were watching that in the morning. He was watching that with his kids or like himself. I don't even know.
I mean, if you're doing Bigfoot theories, like you ain't got kids yet. Or you could have kids and you needed to find another avenue in life to feel happy, Because like the kids they'll bring the happiness.
Yeah, no, we need more information there. There's just no solidity to that.
Now I've actually I'm looking at a bigger article regarding Melba S. Ketchum.
Yeah.
And let me just be honest with you. I'm trying to figure out what they got. Here we go. It took Ketchum and colleagues 5 years to study 111 samples of alleged hair, blood, mucus, toenail, bark, scrapings, saliva, and skin that had been collected from more than 30 sites around North America. Some were not consistent with human or any known wildlife hairs. Wild to me, after being compared to the likes of dogs, cows, horses, deer, elk, foxes, bears, coyotes, and wolves. I mean, it's all very exciting is what they're telling me here.
I mean, where's Melba S. Ketchum now?
This is good. This is what, that we've got a third seat here for a reason. Last week we had, if you go to the Patreon, we had Sean Kemp on.
Yeah, Sean Kemp.
But this time we might have Melba Ketchums. It was later emerged that she had set it up. Okay.
Oh, Melba's a she.
Yeah, Melba. Melba.
Well, I don't know Melba. I know Melbourne. That's it.
So the issue is the journal the research was published in. Another issue is the journal the research was published in. Not only was it one that nobody had heard of, it also turned out that there were no other studies, articles, or papers on that journal.
So that's a fake journal.
She made her own journal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, I journal occasionally, so I could make my own journal.
And I mean, that's anecdotal fact.
That's right.
Yeah. So this is one that I believe in.
So we're done with Melba S. Ketchum?
We're done with Melba. I think there's enough information there to maybe bump me up to a 3. Here we are here. The government secretly removed burnt Sasquatch corpses from Mount St. Helens after the 1980s eruption. So there was a disaster, and a few witnesses reported seeing I'm talking to federales.
Federales?
Like if you hear helicopters coming over here right now, you'll know that they were onto something. Carrying off charred remains of several Sasquatches. So they saw the federales doing that. People saw that. There was only a few though. And then prior to that, there had been ape sightings, since 1920s. I mean, there's eyewitnesses there. And, in amongst tragedy, flames, heat, people will make mistakes.
That's right.
Like you might see just a regular man.
You inhale a bunch of smoke.
Especially volcanic ash. That can't be good for you.
That can't be. I mean, I've never tried it, but Joe Rogan's probably tried it. But it can't be good for you.
You smoke some volcanic ash and you'll need to do cold therapy after that. You'll need to get into some ice baths. Look, The issue with some of these theories, and we could just dive into like the issue with conspiracy theories in general, is that like people just be saying things.
People just saying things, and it's just they said, this person said this.
But also, like, I'm one of those people. I come from the world of just being like, imagine if there was Bigfoot, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, I was the guy that would play Grand Theft Auto San Andreas and be looking for the Bigfoot.
Look for Bigfoot.
Even though that Bigfoot didn't exist. And the only Bigfoot thing, like the evidence that they had was this video on YouTube that was just a jump scare video. You remember that?
No. I wasn't doing gaming when San Andreas was out.
PlayStation 2 era gaming, best era of gaming. That's all I'm going to say.
I wasn't there.
Now, I'm going to give that just a straight up 4 because, like, you know, people see things.
Yeah, but, you know, they were helicoptering out Bigfoot.
I mean, they could have been helicoptering out anything.
That's right.
From a
And
distance.
if the federales are there, they're going to be covering the bodies.
They're going to be covering them up.
That's right.
Yeah.
Regardless of if it's a moose or I don't know if they'd have a moose there, but like a moose, a person, or a Bigfoot.
Why would you take them in a helicopter as well? That's my thoughts.
Well, it could have been just people who just didn't make it, unfortunately.
Yeah, but what's that? Why would you do the helicopter?
Or maybe there wasn't a way to get there
Via car.
via vehicle.
Via vehicle. Yeah.
Because they have all-terrain vehicles, but even them, they're not all-terrain.
I mean, ATV is all-terrain. You can bring it in here.
You can absolutely bring it in here, but I don't know if you can bring it to Mount St. Helens. Like post-eruption.
Yeah, that's true. And I understand. I do understand. Because like you see a Bigfoot like corpse there, you're thinking like the government's lied to us.
Yeah.
But also the amount of support that they're going to need to just get down to that Bigfoot, latch it up to something, bring it back up. Like you'd be doing that at night if you're doing that at any time.
Well, it depends. Maybe they were Russian.
They could have been.
As in not Putin. They were just like in a hurry.
Now this one is good because this is from a Vancouver Island resident. And I've been to Vancouver Island.
Is that in the US?
That's in Vancouver. I believe. It could not be. I might not have been to Vancouver Island.
What's Vancouver? Is
That's
Canada?
that's in Canada.
Yeah. I said, is that in the US? You said that's Vancouver. That's fantastic, bro.
Well, I mean, you were wrong in saying that, like, because it ain't part of the United States.
Yeah, I know. That's what the question was about.
It is part of the North Americas, though. But I don't know. Maybe Vancouver Island is US. But in 2007, Vancouver Island resident Robert Wilson, and that's a name that you'll believe,
I was about to say, that's the name.
claimed to have seen what I thought was a bear. I drove down and saw what I could only describe as a large, hairy man who looked like a caveman. Who's caveman-like? He didn't look like a caveman.
Oh, he was like caveman-like.
With sort of Neanderthal features, as big as a bear, easily. Now, Bigfoot is really a caveman, is the theory.
I don't know if that's... just because someone says he looks like a caveman.
That in itself is subjective.
That's right. Because you could say, oh, I think it looks like a duck. Bigfoot's actually a duck. It's actually a duck. It's just got big-ass flippers.
Because you could say anything. Like, you could say, like, I seen a chihuahua, like, it's a wolf.
Well, like we just said, the conspiracy theories, the whole premise of them is you can say anything.
Yeah.
And if you connect enough imaginary dots, that's the theory.
Whoa. These get pretty wild.
So hold on, we haven't rated any of these, bro.
Sorry, I will say
Mount St. Helens, I'll give that a 5 because that's got a bit more backing just because like the federales would do things.
the federales will do things, and what we've known from like aliens, right? Learning about aliens is that they'll say like, "No, aliens don't exist," and they'll be like, "Hey, brother, look, aliens exist. What can I tell you?" I will just put that in the news, but like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it because you saw that.
I didn't.
It was
see
just
that.
a period in time in which they're like, "Yeah, look, aliens are real."
Was I alive for that? Was I?
It was like two years ago.
Yeah, mid-COVID.
It was like peak pandemic.
Yeah, no, that's right. That was like peak pandemic. That's also like peak people just are in their homes for too long.
Yeah.
They'll be talking about aliens.
But this is the thing. That's when you drop it. Because people be like, man, I did have COVID at the time, so that could have been a fever dream.
I mean...
I'm telling you. Like, I'll tell you right now, aliens exist.
All right, and then what's his other one? Bigfoot's a caveman? That's a
0,
1.
dude.
I'll give it a 1 just because like Robert Miller.
Robert Wilson. And you're right.
Robert
He has got a name that you believe.
Yeah.
Now, here is where it starts to get a little bit
'Cause
crazy.
if you
for
call
a bit.
someone like Bob Wilson, I won't believe that. But if you're going by Robert,
Yeah. Because Bob, you're like here to party, you're here to be social.
Yeah.
Robert, you're here to do the research.
Robert is like business.
Yeah, that's right. And yeah, exactly. And that's the best way I can say it. But here's what I need to tell you, right? Bigfoot is really an alien. Now, I started actually watching a documentary on is Bigfoot really an alien? And it was just saying like, hey, look, aliens, like we have sightings of aliens, but we also have sightings of Bigfoot. Are they the same?
So
I'm like-
someone's gone. Someone said they saw this. Someone also said they saw this. Maybe they saw the same thing.
Look, if you see the same thing,
No,
I'll
but if
believe
you
you.
say different things and just say they're the same things because people saw both of them,
that's right. If you see the same things, I'll believe you.
I mean, I'll go back to the duck analogy. I'll look at a duck, I'll say that's a duck. And I'll go, and someone else will go look at a chicken, they'll say that's a chicken. And then some other head will be like, maybe it's the same thing.
I mean, that's a bit closer though. Like a
That's
Bigfoot
true.
and an alien, like
Okay, we'll say a duck and like a platypus.
yeah. But if a Bigfoot was like just rolling around in like a flying saucer,
You imagine there's this futuristic looking thing, like
Yeah.
something out of every standard alien movie. It's just technology out the wazoo, and then Scotty's beamed them down, and it's just this Bigfoot.
just rolling out into the
You're
wilderness.
looking at like whose spaceship did you steal?
And the one thing that I need to know as well, if Bigfoot is an alien, is he optimizing himself for the woods?
That's right, exactly.
Or is it like straight up in space, you got to be a Bigfoot to like survive out there?
Unless he was from a Planet of the Apes kind of situation.
And I mean, look, that's the next theory, in fact.
Oh,
No, it's not.
Oh.
But it says I'm going to give that one
I'll give it a 4.
I was going to give it a 5 because I like that one because it makes no sense to me. But I also think like if there was Bigfoot in space, that's a movie.
Big feet in space.
Like Bigfoot in space.
Oh, just one Bigfoot.
Yeah, and it's like they take Bigfoot up there for like, you know.
Imagine if it was a Superman type situation. Bigfoot planet was about to blow up. They just sent him out. They just sent him to be lands in the earth and he's just in the forest.
Yeah, that's probably a better idea
Because
than
man's hasn't been nurtured. Like he hasn't been taught the ways of the Bigfoot community or,
and it's like a Tarzan story.
Tarzan.
Yeah. So he like comes down, he's like Tarzan. He like gets into a new community they didn't know about, but he learns from that community. And then like maybe later, like someone comes through and is like, hey bro, you like Tarzan? And he's like, I haven't seen that movie yet. So that's a lot better than my idea. My idea was like, they find the charred remains of like a Bigfoot and they take it to space because like that's where the best science happens. And they're doing like just, research
Hold on, who
on
takes it to space?
like just scientists. Like
As in aliens?
No. There's a Bigfoot. This is the movie Bigfoot in Space that we've made.
Bigfoot in space, okay.
Yeah. So there's a Bigfoot after the Mount St. Helens fire,
Yeah.
right? Charred. So they're like, hey, we got to do science on this, but like we got to take
well
it away.
done.
Well done. We got to take it away so people don't see it. Let's take it to space.
Oh, the Federales bring it to
Federales,
space.
the scientists.
Okay, they just get one of them big slingshots because you can make a movie called Bigfoot in Space. They'll just send him up in a slingshot
Yeah.
because they don't want to spend. They don't want to spend like the budget's going to NASA. They're just gonna have to buy a big slingshot, big rubber band.
So I'm going to give that a 6 because that could be a movie.
So is the movie then Bigfoot's just in space and he's just in space?
Like he's in a spaceship. Like he's on the, he's in a space station. He's getting assessed and they're,
So we're
they're trying
talking
to
there's
do-
astronauts on the International Space Station.
do
And they
Bigfoot
get a call.
research.
They get a call saying like, "Hey, we're sending someone up there with you," and they just see this dude just flying, and it just hits the window, and they've got to like scrape this charred Bigfoot off.
Yeah. But then like, they're doing their research. They zap his heart just to like see what happens, and then he comes alive, just starts throwing hands on everyone in the International Space Station.
Like the baboons in Ad Astra.
In Ad Astra. Except now you got because International Space Station, that's international. Mr. Worldwide's up there, right? You've got people from this area, people from that area. That's a movie about coming together to fight one big issue. And then we like later realize it's all about climate change.
And is Bigfoot then charred the whole movie?
Yeah, he's burned.
He's alive,
looking-
but he's just charred.
Yeah.
And the issue is he can't have the element of surprise because you just smell him.
Oh, dude,
'Cause
you
that's
smell
burnt
it.
hair.
And like you see some smoke like coming around the corner. You're like, oh, bro, he's Bigfoot again.
Ah, it's Bigfoot.
And where are you going to run? Like in space, no one can hear you scream.
I know, but Bigfoot's still got to catch him.
Yeah. And he like, I've only seen Bigfoot walk in the videos that I've seen.
You ain't seen him do 0G?
I haven't seen him do 0G, dude. But he'll learn on the fly, dude. Because he's lived for a while, I'm assuming, if he's real. He's lived for a while. Because this is from 1973, this conspiracy theory about aliens. But that's a 6. I had it as a 5, but that's a 6.
Yeah, I think I'm going up to a 6 as well because I want to see Bigfoot in space.
I mean, why don't we just make it? Like, it's not that hard to make an international space station. Like, the inside of it.
Nah, and if, all you need is one of them, like, centrifugal tunnel things that spin you around so you can go do 0Gs. Like, we can whip that up. Like, I know someone who's got a 3D printer.
Or because, like, Bigfoot is an anomaly, there's, like, the 0G stopped working as soon as Bigfoot came to the international space
so
station.
there's a bit of paranormality there as well.
Yeah. Now, this one, I might not go onto this as much, but this is Bigfoot is really a giant ground sloth. So that's not really fun for me.
What do they say? Is there anything about that?
While most experts, that's in quotations, believe the Sasquatch to be some form of shaggy primate, and that could be the shaggy DA, which is shout out to like our 3rd episode. Look where we've gone.
Jeez. Some will say we've taken a turn for the worse, but I think we were always headed in this direction.
And then a few people have thought that they're actually surviving giant ground sloth.
See, that theory has no backing at all.
No.
There's no. That's just like saying, "Hey, I think he's an alien." I think I think it might be a duck.
Yeah, well, I mean, this one at least they're saying like these are creatures that existed, and maybe it's just the same creature.
Yeah, but something like a giant ground sloth, you're gonna catch that.
You're gonna catch that. That's not being elusive, and maybe in a paranormal alien sense.
Nah, that's a 2. That's actually a 1.
This is where it starts to get wild here. Sasquatches occasionally sodomize domestic cows.
So this is not even a theory about, what Bigfoot is.
This is animal action.
This is just saying this is what Bigfoot does.
Yeah. It's just what Bigfoot does, man. Like a few farmers. These are farmers now. So these are trustworthy people now. These are people that they come out there, they without farmers, where do we go? Like what you're gonna be doing Bill Gates is like
Well, I'll slingshot myself
meat?
up in space.
I mean, that's the only place you're going to get.
That's the only place I'm going to go.
Yeah. But they say a few farmers have witnessed male big feet. That's the plural of Bigfoot. It actually has that in parentheses here. Getting intimate with some unfortunate bovines. And then they say, where's Gary Larson when you need him? I don't really know who Gary Larson is. But here's the thing about, can I tell you something about Mark Mancini here?
Tell me about Mark Mancini.
He's just really saying things, but he's not saying things. He's come out and he's put words on paper, but he hasn't explained why those words are on the paper.
No, that's right. This is the definition of clickbait.
I mean, how many toes would you give that to say if Bigfoot's real?
I mean, yeah, Mans has just said farmers. I understand. Actually, no, why would they want to be anonymous?
Farmers?
If they seen Bigfoot sodomizing cows.
I mean, Bigfoot sodomized my cow. That's a news headline.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this could be the Men in Black theory where it's like these things only go to these papers to make people seem crazy. Men in Black, like all the stuff goes to those weird papers.
Yeah.
It's like alien stole my husband. But really they know it's true, but it goes to these papers so everyone thinks, oh man, these people are crazy. And I mean, we could be sent to those papers.
What do you mean, we?
Like as in just by doing this video, we might be sent somewhere.
As in they'll say like, you're being relocated.
We're being relocated.
At our respective jobs that have nothing to do with newspapers. But hey, sorry, you're being relocated. We've got a new role for you.
How wild would it be if the back catalogue just stopped, right? You never heard from us again. And we're just out there in the woods, like with a new family, new identities. They're like, bro, for your safety, we had to keep you away from people. And we're in the woods. We're thinking, is there big feet around here? They're like, nah, it's just a coincidence that you're in the woods. But you're just away from people.
Yeah.
And they've given us a whole new family, wife and kids, 3 dogs.
3 dogs?
Each. So you got 2, I got 1.
You just said each and then proceeded to say about how we don't have 3 dogs each.
So cumulatively between us, we've got 3 dogs.
Got 3 dogs.
Yeah.
Why am I getting 2?
because they need to be as different as they can. Because you wouldn't even want one dog.
I wouldn't mind a dog.
Yeah, but like you wouldn't want two though.
No, that's right.
That's exactly right. You need to make sure that it's like legit. So you just got to be completely different from who you were. So no one comes, because if people came to your house, they're like, looks like Vincent. No, he's got two dogs.
So you have long hair, and I'll have clean shaven and like an afro.
Yeah, yeah, dude. And I mean, we'll look good. I mean, my long hair will make me look like I'm a Bigfoot conspiracy theorist because it will grow at the back but not at the front.
And then you have a ponytail as well.
It'll be long hair and then the ponytail. Now, that's the sodomizing thing, so I don't know about that.
I'm not going to rate that.
7 Sasquatches. Number 7 is Sasquatches appear in the Bible. They're briefly mentioned apparently in Genesis.
Genesis.
That's all they're giving me. Here is the one.
What, they don't even tell you where in Genesis.
They're not even just giving me like a quote. Like surely they're not that much.
Surely they're doing like John 35:14.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Now we're getting crazy.
The Bible one doesn't need to be rated because there's no point.
Unfortunately,
the only thing that I want to hear about, Bigfoot in the Bible is it was actually Bigfoot on the cross next to Jesus.
He was the third thief.
He was the third thief.
The second thief.
Whatever. No, he was the third one. They didn't talk about him because like
conspiracies, federales crossed it out.
Federales. They were up there with the helicopter.
And like people in those times are like, what is this thing?
That's a strange bird.
Like the hairy man I get. I've seen hairy men like wearing barely anything because like this is the times that we live in, but I don't get that bird.
Because you don't tie your tunic up right.
I mean, if you don't tie your tunic, you might become a eunuch. Is all I'm saying. But here's the thing about the 10% of Sasquatches. Lauren Coleman, this is a cryptozoologist, so this is someone this is their job, this is their role.
Yeah,
they are the zoologists for the cryptoids, the cryptids, if I will. And this is not like cryptocurrency. 10% of Sasquatches might be gay.
I mean, that's hilarious on multiple levels.
I know. So
because man's has got to find,
yeah,
more than one. Well, he's got to have at least 10 Sasquatches.
You got to have 10 Sasquatches, and that's one in that group.
I mean, because you the only way you can have to round up.
You can
because if you're rounding down,
yeah,
then you might as well say 20%. You know what I mean? To make that headline pop,
yeah,
you're always going to round up. So, and they can't be 0% because that's just not applying the scientific method. And I'm sure Lauren Coleman is a person of principle.
We can visit their website.
We can visit their website.
I'm just about to visit laurencoleman.com.
laurencoleman.com.
All right, so this is all about cryptozoology. I want to see what the latest update is. See, they don't give me. They got lots of books on here though.
Yeah.
Yeah, the study of hidden animals is cryptozoology. So that's including Bigfoot, Loch Ness monsters, Yeti, Mayaka skunks.
What?
Skunk ape. Apparently they're skunk apes.
Skunk apes.
Yeah, I gotta see where they're talking about like.
That's just a smelly dude in the forest.
I mean, you put Nick Cage in Pig in the Forest. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen that movie.
No.
I saw that movie, dude, and he looks like a skunk ape. Like man's looks like he hadn't showered. 10%
of Bigfoot are gay.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
I mean, look, if you're rolling the dice and you're thinking, look, I got to make a claim that's going to stick. That's what's going to stick.
But the thing is, I'd never heard the assumption that there are different genders of Bigfoot.
I mean, there's definitely different genders.
Definitely?
There's definitely different genders. Because like, how are you going to get another big feet?
Well, that's my assumption of Bigfoot was that it's a Bigfoot that's just been around and it's just staying around.
It's just one dude.
Not even a dude. It's just one thing.
Yeah, and it could be. It could be.
To say that 10% are gay.
Yeah.
Does that mean that there are a 10? But there's 5 couples, and one couple they ain't having a good time.
Well, they might be having a good time, but they realize their differences, but they love each other for who they are.
Yeah, or it could have been 8 of them are doing some.
I mean,
like what's those shows like polygamy and whatnot.
Oh yeah, they could be doing polygamy and whatnot. But here's the thing: like maybe the Bigfoot community is progressive, and they're just like, hey, brother, we accept that. This 10%, we all 100% Bigfoot, and that could be it. Now, I'm going to give that one, like that's not really a theory about whether Bigfoot is real or not.
No, that's
and
not.
The rest of these, there's only one that is. Sasquatches bury their dead. I mean, that's what they think. That's why you never seen a Bigfoot dead body anywhere, except for ones the federales took.
Yeah, but when you say, like, how deep are they digging them?
At least, I mean, it depends on it, because if they're standing up, like they put them in standing up, you need at least 9 foot.
They're dropping them in like them Easter Island heads.
Because you know what's underneath of the Easter Island heads?
Easter Island bodies?
That's exactly right. The government captured a live Sasquatch in 1999. Now, here we go. In 1999, a number of simultaneous, it's all at the same time, fires ravaged Battle Mountain, Nevada. An injured Bigfoot was supposedly spotted in the carnage before being whisked away by government officials.
What happened?
There were simultaneous fires that ravaged Battle
Oh,
Mountain.
fires. I thought they were saying like there was a war on this island.
I will tell you
mountain.
about a war. But they got whisked away by government officials.
I mean, the federales are back there and again, so that's already a 7 out of 10 theory.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you put the government into things, I think that gives just more credibility because the government does things.
Well, we're all against the government.
I'm not against the government, but
that's I'm being facetious now. And is it facetious or facetious? You know? But here's the battle of Bigfoot. Because there's this theory, right, that I saw, and I'm thinking this is the theory. This is the theory right here.
Yeah.
Here we go. How 1924 Bigfoot battle on Mount St. Helens helped launch a legend. This is crazy now.
So they were doing like UFC, like one.
Here's the thing.
Just the Bigfoot.
Here's the thing. I'm going to give you the what's it called. I'm going to give you some of the just the play-by-play real quick. So we got some
what, the Bigfoot fight?
Of the Bigfoot fight, yeah. So like it's round 1 now.
It's round 1.
They've touched gloves first. No, here's the thing. There's these heads. I'm trying to find their names here. Fred Beck, Gabe Lefevre, John Peterson, Marion Smith, and Smith's son, Roy. So there's Roy Smith as well. So they're out there doing some gold hunting. They're going out there hunting for gold, looking for that American dream. You know, to be rich. To just live in a capitalist world and just be rich. Now, what happened was they're out there, they're seeing these ape-like creatures. Now, the ape-like creatures, they're coming in peace. They're just standing there sort of looking, doing these ones, right? Now, one of them, I can't remember which guy, but we're gonna try to find his name. Here we go. Taken aback at the sight of the huge beasts, Fred Beck fired his rifle at one of the creatures and struck 3 times.
I mean, that's the American way.
The wounded animal.
First, don't ask questions.
That's right. The wounded animal toppled off a cliff. Beck reportedly claimed years later that another member of the party also fired the shots. But the violence proved a mistake, Vincent. Now, here's what happens. They're in like a hut. They're just doing hut things. They're like, bro, you know, we look for gold. We shot a Bigfoot. What a day.
What a day.
Let's tell camp stories. Let's tell ghost stories. Now, little did they know, they start hearing knocks and big slams outside. They didn't know what that was. They thought maybe there's an animal out there. Turns out there were several big feet, and they're just throwing rocks. And these dudes out there just shooting out big feet, just like bow.
So
bow,
this
bow.
is they're saying this is not a close encounter. This is like the closest encounter.
This is the closest encounter. They're throwing hands, they're throwing weapons, they're throwing everything that they can at these big feet.
They're throwing the charred remains of like other big feet. They're just launching it at these people's huts.
That's right. Let me try to find like what happened after. Because like if one of them died, like surely the other guys just killed him, and then they're just saying that was a Bigfoot, man.
It wasn't me. It was a Bigfoot.
Let's see. Yes.
Are you reading this? Has this man seen his post? Or
No, this is hard to go elsewhere.
So you've tangented here.
I've tangented here. This is a 10.
I mean, if you're going to whip out some Bigfoot theories, this is better than just saying, I seen him.
Seen him.
This
is it. Then they changed. They returned to civilization that summer day in 1924. The dramatic story of their battle with large human-like beasts was irresistible, and that's thus hard for people to dismiss. But that's what they did, man. They came in, they shot some things, they came out, they said, hey, brother, there's Bigfoot in there.
So what I'm hearing is they were just on a bender.
They might have been on a bender and they were just shooting things and they're like, why'd you come back with no bullets?
Why'd you come back with no bullets?
Like bullets don't come cheap in 1922.
They don't. Because you got to fabricate them.
I'm going to say that that's a 10.
That's a 10 because that's just hilarious.
The reason it's a 10 is not because it necessarily proves that Bigfoot is real. But if, as Vincent said, if you're going to make a story, you're going to make a story.
You might, if you're going to do a Bigfoot story, you might as well go all out.
If I was to make a Bigfoot story, it would be like, yeah, I was in the woods. I was like doing some, seclusion therapy, where you go into a secluded space by yourself. You just be with nature.
Yeah, so you just really lose your mind just like in peace.
In peace. In peace. No phones, no books, just the world amongst you,
and
right?
Some bullets.
And some bullets.
So you can just start firing.
But see, I wouldn't go in with bullets. I'd go in like just hands up, just showing them.
Showing them. You
no weapons.
You're a uts with the...
No weapons. Just me and him. No weapons. Right? So I roll in.
You'll be there fighting. Someone called Dana White.
I roll in, right? Yeah, I'm probably like welterweight. He's probably like super heavyweight, So this is what we're doing here.
He's probably like 3 tons, bro.
I'm giving up some weight here, but I'll take that because I've got better ground game. Now I'll roll in, right? And I show him no weapons. I stay there for a couple of days. Bigfoot comes through.
What do you mean you stay there for a couple of days?
Well, you can't Bigfoot's not just going to rock up like, hey, brother, you've been here for 5 minutes. Now I can speak with you.
Oh, you're saying this Bigfoot can speak as well?
No, I'm just saying that Bigfoot's not going to come straight away. You got to be a part of that space for Bigfoot to become more comfortable with you.
You can fight him.
This is this is what I'd come back
So hold on,
with.
you're telling me that you're going to go there and say, yeah, no, we just got to make peace with the Bigfoot and then I'm going to punch him in the face.
No, I'm showing him no weapons. I'm just saying, hey, no weapons, brother. Just me, you, and these fists. And I'll wait. And then when Bigfoot's ready, he might have to do like a couple of weeks of training, whatever.
Yeah, but why would he then, if you're just waiting there, why would he think you're a threat?
I'm not coming in as a threat. I'm telling Bigfoot, this is the story that I'm coming back with. This is the story that I'm coming back with, right?
All right.
So Bigfoot rolls up, right? He comes up to me. Maybe he doesn't think I'm a threat at that point. I walk up to him, size him up, feel his body, feel the muscle, feel the strength, right? And
Jeez, these are nice biceps you've got here, Bigfoot.
And I start like talking trash. Like, look at those toes, bro. Look at those toes. Like, that's 10 toes, but they don't.
Everybody knows you're the one with the dry toes.
Exactly. And then Bigfoot,
That'll set him off.
He's not going to take that. So he goes, all right, me and you tomorrow. I'll set up the space.
By the watering hole.
Exactly. And then boom, we're like out there. It's the fight. It's like Thriller in Manila. But it's like, WIFO and Kaipo. Like it's just like
what's WIFO?
I don't know. I was trying to figure out a word that would rhyme with Kaipo.
It's like FIFO in Kaipo.
It's like FIFO
because you fly in,
yeah,
and then you fly out.
Because I just get uppercutted by Bigfoot.
Yeah, that's right.
But then I'd leave. I'd come back home. Have scratches, bruises, a broken jaw, like several broken ribs.
Jaw's just hanging.
And people are like, "What happened? What happened?" I'm like, "Hey, walking around saying, man, I usually see the other guy first, but let me tell you something else. It was a Bigfoot. It was a Bigfoot.
It was a Bigfoot. I'll tell you, I stayed there. I showed him, there's only me, you, and these fists. All right? It's only me and you and these fists. I'm seclusion. I'm doing seclusion therapy. You're just sitting there for 5 days.
I mean, you sit in the woods with nothing for 5 days, you'll see a Bigfoot.
You see a Bigfoot. You start throwing hands at a tree and you'd be like, man, this Bigfoot's wild.
Yeah.
Bro, you're not even moving. How much does he weigh?
And like you're hitting that tree, and you're like, like your hands are bleeding.
Yeah, because you're just hitting bark.
You're just hitting bark. But every time that bark falls off, you're thinking, I've taken a tuft of his hair. I'm taking him back with me.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, Vincent.
You go back with just like firewood. DNA test. Quickly do a DNA test.
Just comes out with your DNA because it's like your blood and bones.
He's half human.
It's you. Wait a second. I was Bigfoot the whole time. And that's
then they've got someone had one of those trail cameras.
Yeah.
It captures it and it's just you and you're just piecing up this tree.
But I'm like, weave. Like I'm ducking, I'm weaving,
Because there'll be branches.
Oh, dude. Here's the thing, Vincent.
Are they all the theories?
That's all the theories.
That's all the theories.
The other theory was that
Bigfoot is actually a duck.
You can mimic a Bigfoot call. So there's a Bigfoot noise and you can do that noise and Big Feet will be like, Hey, that's one of
Yeah,
us.
Mancini was really just trying to hit those KPIs at that point.
Dude, do you know how many ads are on this thing?
Yeah.
There's ads.
You don't use ad blockers.
I don't use Safari. That's what it opened up in. That's my issue.
What do you normally use?
I use Google Chrome. And like Safari's pretty good, you know? But here's what I need to tell you, Vincent. Have you, one, got yourself a Bigfoot story? If not, I got something to close this out with.
I don't have a Bigfoot story.
All right.
I mean, some kid called me like Sasquatch in middle school because man was hairier than like everyone involved.
Yeah.
But that's the only Bigfoot story.
But see, here's where they went wrong with that. That was Bigfoot conspiracy theories. And this been the back catalogue. Talk soon.
Talk soon.